let's get into the show. Drake recently read Joe Budden to shreds after Buttons labeled him as an old head that's trying to appeal to youngins while trashing his new album, For All the Dogs. Now, in a lengthy post, Drake wrote, Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because that is what you actually pays your bills. He also added, for any artist watching this, just remember, you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. All right, y'all, what are your thoughts on this beef between Drake and Joe Budden? And can you blame Drake for going in, or do you think it was justified what Joe Budden said? Al, what do you think?
Listen, I'm not that in tune with Drake's music like that. I'm not buying his albums, but I am listening to him commercially on the radio and on Pandora and in the clubs. And that to me is all cool, but I don't know Drake music like that. However, this response from a 51-time Grammy-nominated artist who is a billionaire is giving me a hit dog will holler. Sorry, it's what it's giving to me. And why would you have a response to someone who you claim is useless in the music industry, right? Pretty much has no credibility, and he's never even won a Grammy before, and I think maybe only nominated twice. Now, this I will say though, I have to side on the side of Ebro in the morning, and I think he put it best. He said Joe Budden didn't fail at music because he can still make beauty. He can still make music. He said Budden chose not to play the game that they are forced to play as artists and as music makers. And he wasn't that interested in sacrificing out what he really wanted to produce for climbing charts and staying relevant in the music industry. That I totally agree with. And I'm still confused why Drake is spending so much time addressing someone who he claims is a loser.
Okay. Q, what do you think?
You know what, Al, I hear you 100%. I don't know that I'm buying that Joe Budden stopped making music because he didn't want to play the game.
Right.
Joe Budden had that one hit, Pump It Up, and I promise you, I don't know no other song outside of Pump It Up. Drake read him to smithereens, and it was so nice, nasty. And y'all, this is how you read people. You don't have to make shit up. You don't have to go grab stuff. You read people with their truth. And the funny thing about it is, I thought about it. We sit in the commentary space, right? But I do think there's some legitimacy to what Drake is saying when you are a retired rapper sitting in a commentary space, commenting on rappers. Like he said, a failure want to talk about a recipe for success. Had Budden just been a civilian, I think things would be better. But because you are somebody with a sketchy rap history, it kind of does make you look a little flawed critiquing the rap people, and you ain't even got nothing worth critiquing your own self.
So at first, when I first got back to Civilization and caught wind of this, I was like, okay, Joe, I was on the side of shut up, Joe Buttons. As he's told me before, shut up, Claudia. Shut up, Joe Buttons. You're just bitching again like you usually do. You're a hater. But then I went and looked and started seeing what the tea was on Drake's album. A lot of people are kind of on the same page saying this is not his best work and his albums have been getting progressively worse. Now, I know this album is more singing than rapping. And Drake did kind of tease this album as being like some of his best work, or he's going back to the old Drake, and it wasn't. So I think some fans were let down by it. Here's a problem. Here's an issue. We are in the commentary space. We speak on things that we ain't been through or we're not good at ourselves. And I think everyone's entitled. And yes, Joe Budden did not have the rap career that he probably wanted to. He did have a couple hits back in the day, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have the right to critique. He can critique. He's actually one of the top podcasters in the game. And as much crap as he's talked and we've bumped our heads, I got to give credit where credit is due. He's actually really good at that. He's amazing at that. I do think it's a messenger. I think it's the messenger real quick. I just think it's the messenger because he comes up annoying and it's easy to say, well, you only had your one song. I feel you on that too. Go ahead.
I need you to stop sitting up here lying, talking about he had a couple hits. If he had
one,
name them. Because I only know Pump It Up.
Pump It Up.
I'm not being funny. I only know Pump It Up.
No, you're right.
He was nominated for 2 Grammys now. We're not going to degrade
Was he?
Man. Yeah, nominated for 2 Grammys. He didn't win.
Pump It Up.
He was?
For Pump It Up.
Oh, I didn't know that. Hey, I was trying to be nice. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to be nice because he do be mad on that podcast. But you know what? we're gonna listen to Drake's album. We're gonna see what we think about it. But he has a right to say something, and Drake has a right to read. But Drake, he read like.
It was very personal for him. The read was very you could tell it hit him in his soul.
Well, they've been feuding for a while, right? But I'm gonna go to what Vanessa House says. She said, "That's real, Al. His opinion should be irrelevant if he's washed up or on a lower." And Denise Johnson said, "Everybody's sick of Joe saying stupid ish, trying to draw attention to his podcast."
Yeah, at the end of the day, his job is to.
That's his job. So we can't argue with him about that.
And I know we got to move on to the next topic, but I just wanted to add, like, to make this argument fair on both sides, right? Because I've had my opinions on these people. Drake, though, he kind of turns the people off with this album. Coming for Halle Berry, remember she asked to not have her picture used, that slime you out thing. Then he was like throwing shots. People think at Rihanna on his album. So I think he's a little sensitive because people haven't come for him with this album. And I think Joe Budden's hit a nerve. I think they both hit nerves on each other. It was a
hit dog will holler.
Hmm?
Hit dog will holler.